Well, we're live. I know Brendan's not even looking at the screen, but it's okay. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube with Killowen Distillery, Brendan Carty, and some guests. So there's some people on here who, at the moment, are lucky enough to have a sample of the new Hungarian Oak 10-year-old bonded experimental series, which came in, or will come, in one of these gorgeous sacks, which I absolutely love. These sacks are absolutely great. But and here's this beautiful bottle of whiskey. So here it's here. And you can see I've depleted my resources already, so apologies for that. All right, but plenty of information on this bottle. 55.8% alcohol. Only 356 bottles released. And there's a reason for such a low number. And that's probably because we drank some of this during this event here. Yeah, Belfast Whiskey Week. That's when we first tasted it. So I'm going to pour myself a healthy wee measure. Okay. So, Brendan.
Yes.
This is your whiskey. We're here to talk about your whiskey. We're not here to listen to me, which is great. But we've got lots of people on here. Some guys who are involved in the Killowen cult. Some guys who are involved in the whiskey club. Some guys who are, who are maybe sampling Killowen for the first time, which I think is interesting. This isn't, a couple of guys that are on here tonight. This will be the first taste of Killowen, so better blow them away. If not, you're in trouble.
Hopefully, it's good to get a good mix of people in there as well. And I think this one's going to be quite a divisive one. So this is the final series. So continuing on with those integrity bottlings. There's no. Can you hear me all right, Paul? Yeah.
I hear you fine. Yeah.
No bother. So again, no color, no filtration, never mind chill filtration, straight from the cask into the bottle, and cask strength, no dilution. So beautiful whiskies, and it's a very unique blend. It's that core blend, so it was quite unique. And then we've used it through the series to date. So this is the final one. This is a virgin Hungarian oak cask. Zoltan, the madman himself, sourced this for us and bought it. Lovely cask, because we wanted something very different, very punchy, and we're aware of what virgin wood can do. But for this, we just wanted to get a real strong expression of virgin Hungarian oak. Like all of our cask expressions to date, it's about massive cask influence and trying to complement those whiskey notes that are already there.
Do you know what?
Take a drink already. What do you think?
I had to take a drink. It's very hard not to nose it and then want to drink it. So it's just got such an inviting nose. It's very strong alcohol, Brendan. I'm loving the amount of alcohol in this, particularly on the nose. It comes across as being a strong whiskey. We know that straight away. Tell me this. Has there been much difference in what's happened here between the festival and now? It's been in the cask a little bit longer. Yeah,
the cask a little bit longer, so you're getting more of that cask, almost aggression again. This hasn't held anything before, so do you know the way out of American wood you get wood spice, European oak you get wood spice, Hungarian the oak that you get there you get a different sort of wood spice again. You get vanilla from the Quercus alba. Over in the States, for instance, and then the limousine forest, you get all those, cask spices, white peppers, like even the virgin acacia that we done. Out of this, I'm getting an explosion of clove, massive clove influence. On the nose, you don't really get as much clove, but once you taste it and go back to the nose, you're smelling clove massively. But it's funny, in that initial nose, you don't really get it. Tiny bit of aniseed almost, but yeah, it's just for me, it's clove rock with extra cloves.
Listen, there's going to be a lot of people want to come on and talk to us, so everyone can be patient. And in this environment, we can only have 10 people in the chat at any one time. We're going to bring people in. I want people's opinion on it. We've got Brendan here, so I'm going to take Brendan, maybe out of the chat for a couple of minutes, and I'll just individually go around and speak to some people, because I really want to get people's thoughts, Brendan. What's important about this is that, it is the last one of a series of what really became something monumental out of your distillery, because we're not expecting this. I remember your initial conversations, which were about, we're going to do our own thing. We don't care about anyone else. We don't care about other liquid. We'll just do it. We'll just wait. And here you've come out, you've pressed ahead, and you've taken on some really good whiskey. You've done some really good experimental stuff with it. Every cast so far has been different and very unique. Like it's hard to put them all together and and say they're same or samey or likable, that they're like this or like that. They're unique, very unique, and for the fact that they all have that core element to them, like they've not been manipulated through the different the different quantities very much. Am I right? We've got that 10-year-old blend, and yet it's the cask influencing, which has been really good. The cask management has been absolutely brilliant. So, look, Brendan, I'm going to bring in, who have we got? We should bring in some stars of the show, right? So we've got some guys from the cult who are involved. So I'm going to try and bring in Mick McGuire just now, because we really want to talk about what happened there with the competition. So I'm going to try and bring in Mick if we can. Let's add him to the stream. Okay. Hello, Mick.
All right, lads. How's it going?
Mick is also sporting a beard. That's good, Mick. I'm loving your beard.
Try to disguise myself on that picture, Paul, to be honest with you.
So look, we have a group of enthusiasts. That's what they are. They're supporting the Killowen distillery from afar, all over the world. We've got members from everywhere called the Killowen Cult, and we put a wee thing out there to give everyone the first chance to try this. And all it was a simple request: take a picture of you and some Killowen product. And Mick McGuire, out of all the pictures that we had, Mick McGuire decides to do one naked in the shower. And listen, I'm all for showering with whiskey, if it's okay. I'm all right with that. So Mick, what's your thought? Listen, what's your thoughts on this one? What's your thoughts on the Hungarian?
Yeah, well, I have to be careful. I know his old hands, so I don't know if I consider him a friend, because he's probably listening, and I wouldn't want to. He has his head big enough, so he's someone I know. But look, the same. And Paul, you kind of hinted at it a few minutes ago. It's one thing, and I said it to Brendan as well when we did the tasting side by side. The one great thing about this series, they're all, I won't say totally different, but there's a huge difference with each of them, and that's brilliant. Like, for a series of like 7 whiskies, it's great. I think they're all quality. Everyone has their own favorites, and I think this is another really good one. I find it really kind of fresh and spicy a bit. It's quite different again to any of the others. I wasn't really getting that off any of the others. So yeah, that's what I love about it. And it's a shame it's ending, but I suppose you can only get so many different whiskies. But
it is ending. Yeah, and that good point to make. It's the end of the bonded experimental series, and that I like that. I actually like the fact that we've now got 7 releases. It's a closed kind of circuit. That's it. It's done. We've seen actually what we've got from Killowen is a real eye opening to potentially what we could see from their own spirit being manipulated in casks. I suppose the ability to blend, which going forward, all distilleries have to have really, blends that they need to be thinking about. Can they get more, more bottles out there with the liquid that they're producing? And Killowen's a very, 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 very small distillery with a super small outrun. That they need to be diversing, and they need to be thinking about, what they can do with that liquid. So yeah, it's coming to an end, Mick, and so is your time on here. So listen,
I'm not going to share it again. Put it that way.
Anything you want to say to anyone out there, any loved ones that you want to say? I want to retract my picture, whatever. You can say it now.
Yeah, is my mother-in-law watching her?
Probably.
No, you're all right. No, I'm grand.
Listen, thank you very much, Mick.
No worries. Good luck with it, Brendan, as well.
Thanks a million, Mick. Salam.
Cheers. Chat to you soon.
Absolutely brilliant. Mick is great crack, and I'm going to kick him out of the studio now so he can watch, from afar. We'll let someone else in. So there we go. Brendan, high praise from the man in the shower.
Good man, Mick.
I think, look, we've got lots of guests here. I would like to talk to as many as you want. Do you want to bring on one of the guests? You want me to, pick someone here that we can chat to? Who we think?
Yeah, I don't want at all. Like, we've got there's who's go from the top down. There's Ben and Val. Maybe move that way.
Right,
The one who ran
take Ben. Let's bring Ben on. Okay.
He
so
might not
Ben,
be available, but he might be. Hopefully, we'll
Oh,
check.
well, hold on. We'll maybe wait till he puts his picture on. You're quite right. We'll go with Marique.
Marika, is she
Go with
here?
Marique.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's bring her in. Add her to the stream. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you, Marika?
Here, the picture is, yeah. I'm sorry I don't have the whiskey. I can't taste it.
It didn't get to
Sorry.
Germany in time.
Yeah.
Is this Brexit causing an issue in Germany? Can we not get liquid to Germany now? What is going on?
I don't know. We have travels here in Germany with posts everywhere, not just from other countries. So, but it sounds delicious, and I'm looking forward to taste it.
It is
Do you
good.
know what? It
Yeah.
is delicious, and I keep on going to drink it because I want to keep on getting that flavour. I actually get a really strange kind of rhubarb taste on it, which is really odd.
Okay.
Like I've been having see throughout this entire lockdown, lots of jam, lots of different flavours of jam, and I have a rhubarb and strawberry jam that I've been going to for my scones, and there's a hint of that jamminess in there. Maybe it's the jamminess, maybe it's not the rhubarb specific, but it's the jamminess that I get. I really like that. Hopefully, Marie, we get some out to you. Brendan,
Yeah,
get some.
Definitely. I will pick up some at Brenton. I know he reserved me some. So,
Well, yeah, it's depleting quick, but we're trying our best to guard it for you.
yes.
Marika's got all of our releases to date, but we need to send out this one now as well to Irish Whiskies DE in Germany. So Marika, for anybody who doesn't know, owns Irish Whiskies DE in Germany. They've been ambassadors for Irish whiskey in Europe for a long time, and she's been championing Irish whiskey for some time now. And luckily, we're on the portfolio. So if anybody wants to buy whiskey for somebody overseas, or you want to advise somebody overseas where to buy it, that's where we would tell them to go. So,
Thank you.
No,
yeah.
don't like it.
100%. And do you know what? And listen, just while you're here, and we can plug it because we have no shame. How was the mini festival? How was the festival that you had over in Germany? How was that?
It was great. So the people were really enthusiastic in there. So we did also these sessions so that the people can buy a tasting set and they can stay the whole weekend. And most of them did it. So it was awesome. I got so many feedbacks back after that. So we will do it again this year. And we will stay online because this is the format how I can get the people from Ireland over here all on one weekend. And I think the Germans really liked it because we put in these new make things and some specials. So we will do it again this year, but not with new make. We are thinking about other ideas already. So Brendan, you will get a new make.
We've got plenty of ideas, don't worry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Good.
Was it?
Good. Well, I'm glad. And listen, good luck with that. And we'll get speaking very soon. Okay, I'm going to take you off here now. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
there you go.
That was good. And here, a fantastic festival organised over in Germany there, which was great for people in Germany, and then for people in the south and in the Republic, we're given the opportunity to get involved. So that was really good. Absolutely brilliant. Who have we got? Is that? We'll go with. Can we go with Jim? Can we go with Jim Ingram? Bring in Whiskey Novice. Yeah, I think that would be a good crack. Is he ready for us? That's the question. He's always ready. Yeah, the man was born. The man was born ready. So let's bring him in.
Come on, Jim.
There we are.
Boys.
Evening, Jim.
Come on, Jim.
As well.
We're doing grand. Sure, we're on the liquor already, which is great. So you cannot go wrong. Jim,
these boys are putting me to shame with the beard convention, aren't you? Get their baby face.
That's a real beard.
Marika saved you, Brendan.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
She's a great girl. She really is. I think
she?
what she's doing is fantastic. Like,
Yeah,
So.
bringing Irish whiskey specifically to Germany, super, and a one-stop shop
And abroad.
for Irish whiskey, which is great.
Even-
Jim, for those that
even-
don't know you, sorry, Brendan.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, Jim, for those that don't know you, and maybe they don't see you in different guys. Maybe they're used to in Belfast. Maybe they're used to playing the guitar and singing great songs down in the Duke of York. But you're also a YouTuber. You're loving your YouTube channel and Whiskey Novice. It's about bringing whiskey to people in a really gentle, friendly, comfortable, unpatronising way, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So. I know that you're an avid drinker of whiskey, no matter where it's from. What do you make? What do you make of the Killowen stuff? What do you make?
I really like it. This is the third one I've had. Don't ask me what they were. The other ones I can't remember. Brendan sent me a sample of was it the last one you released, Brendan? I can't remember.
Oats,
Yeah, the stout, Imperial Oaken Stout.
And I've had it was the peated one actually. It was the one
right.
finished in, that's what it was. And I'd had one prior to that. I can't even remember what that was. But I love them. And I've said to Brendan before, I think what he's doing is fantastic. It's great that something on such a small scale has raised such a, I'm trying to find the best way to word this, but it's pricked people's ears up. It's got people stopping and listening. And when it's now that it's, I don't want to big you up too much, Brendan, but I mean, the fact that it's getting out there to the world now, even be it just through, that it's starting to come out through Europe, and I'm starting to see pictures, see returns from people all over the world on Facebook, on YouTube, and Instagram, drinking Killowen all over the world. And I think that's class. Just for a small operation.
I just need to add in there, the distillery was founded by Shane McCarthy, Liam Brogan, and myself, as well. So, I mean, turning on from the other two guys as well, a big part to play in it,
Indeed.
So, and then there's Pierce Carr and Q Feenan, the two distillers as well with us. So, I just thought, but I know I really appreciate it.
100% right. And funny this here, Paul, people have said, Mick said it, but fresh was the first thing I got in this one. And now I put a wee tiny drop of water in it there. And not only clove rock, Brennan, but I'm getting what Paul was saying as well, because on the nose then, that wee drop of water, I'm getting rhubarb and custard sweets. As in the sweets, the rhubarb and custard sweets at a sweet shop,
You're right. Brilliant.
That's lovely, it really is.
It's brilliant, yeah.
At first, it was I could really get the virgin oak. I mean, that was the first thing I noticed, was that real new wood thing. But the more this sells, the better it gets. Just the edge starts to come off a bit.
Yeah. It does. It's lovely and sticky, but then that volatile tends to evaporate out of it, and then you're just left with more of the flavor, heavy oils.
Yep.
Because when you get a bit high grain content, it's very good quality grain coming from we tell everybody where our blends come from as much as possible. Northern Irish single malt, and then we've got these lovely grains and single malts from Cooley, which are supplied us from Great Northern Distillery, and those volatile compounds come out of that grain. They just fire all those other flavors at you, and that's the beauty of blends. And it's for far too long people do snub their noses up at blends, but that was something that we wanted to champion. That's something we wanted to push to the fore, was bringing back quality blends. And luckily enough, if you're doing it at a small batch, there's enough decent people out there to recognise blends as a seriously good drink, and that's all we need.
Oh, wow. So it's done right. I mean, the thing is, it's testament to you guys that you're doing it right, because to me, it's a challenge greater than putting out a tasty single malt.
Yeah.
To get that blend right is just something. Even anybody, I always challenge anybody to try it. Sit in the house, pick two of your favorite whiskies, put them together, and see what you get. And if that doesn't work, try something else, and just
exactly.
I think it's been welcomed. I think the series has been welcomed without it being even thought about as being a blend. I think that's been interesting. That that I know within the club, I know that within Belfast Whisky Club, we talk about every type of whiskey, and we'll try everything. And some people, when we come to scoring those whiskies, go, "Oh, what would I give it as a blend? What would I give it as a single grain, or what would I give it as listen here. This stands on its own as a whiskey, and you know, if you handed me this and you didn't say it was a blend, I'd be telling you it was a very good, you know, single malt whiskey, because actually there's a high level of grain content in here, and yet it doesn't come across as being that really, you know, from most experience, that really sharp grain, you know, whiskey. It doesn't come out so mellowed down, and with even that small amount of malt, you know, giving it a really lovely flavor. But you are using quality, product here. You're using quality, you know, whiskey from different distilleries, and it is quality. And even though you cannot, and I just want to, we're going to keep pointing this out, but look, here we have these beautiful little, you know, pen marks, which are to stop talking about the real places where they come from, you know, and I suppose that's for me, that's disappointing. I think for some people it'll be disappointing. For others it'll just be they won't care and you will just get on with it. But transparency is very, very important, and what you've done throughout this series has been transparent. Even though that we've now got to the point where scrubbing stuff off, we still know that the malt comes from, you know, part of it comes from Northern Ireland.
Just but 20% does, yeah. And I have to give a shout out to the guys in Ecklandville. Were brilliant. They actually give us the stock for that malt, because, you know, we were trying to get quality single malt, you know, that wasn't Cooley. It was needed, and the guys in Ecklandville were brilliant. I have to say, Jarlath, super. It's good camaraderie within the industry out there, you know. So I think that decency is going to lend itself to Irish whiskey going forward, you know.
Jim, anything else you want to say?
No, just well done, Brendan, and the guys down at Killowen. It's been good. You know, it's been a good couple of years for you, as long as it last.
Good.
Cheers.
Jim, we'll see you later on. Okay.
Cheers, boys.
Good man. Yeah, he's on point here. You know, it has been a good couple of years, Brendan. It has been a good couple of years.
It was a year. It's been a year. It's been January to January.
Oh my God. It feels like forever. This one coronavirus lockdown has just.
Yeah, I know.
It's
unbelievable.
Forever and ever and ever. Listen, there's so much chat going on here. If John McDougall can get himself into this room, all he needs to do is press the link again and he'll come in. We've got other people in the link, so I'm going to remove people out of the link just now and bring people in. Let's see who we've got. Is Ben going to show face here? Because I've got him here on here, and I've got Val on as well. But look, maybe we'll go to Shane, because Shane, you know, he was in patiently. He was first. Shane, and you come. Come on in.
Hello, lads.
Yes.
Hello from Cork.
Oh, yeah, Shane.
Well, Shane.
From where?
Cork.
Cork.
Real capital of
Cork. Cork's a lovely place with lovely people.
It is. We've good affiliation with Cork too. It's great.
Good.
The whereabouts are you?
Stuff down here, but got down here eventually.
It did. Where are you? Are you near the city, or are you in the west?
Right in the city centre.
Very good. You ever get down to Cask? They're doing an amazing cocktail at the minute with takeaway.
I haven't got in there. I haven't got in there yet, but I've heard very good things about it.
They're doing a takeaway cocktail with this stuff here.
Are they?
They're brilliant. Yeah, they're cracking. They're amazing.
Currently, at the palate cleanser, I'm having the dark rum mojito seltzer.
Yes,
that's brilliant. Yeah. Do you know that's a daily drinker? You know, you can roll out of bed. You know, you can crack one of them open, and you just feel alive. And you know, you get to lunchtime. Yeah, you get to lunchtime, and you crack another one, and you feel great. And you get to dinner time, and you know what? You need another. And it's just, you know, it's a daily drinker, and you do not feel like an alcoholic. You feel refreshed. You know, it's really good. Apparently, it's really good for you. It's not like, you know, it's not like a really heavy drink. It's like 0 calories or something. You know, it makes it feel good. Boys at Killowen,
alcoholic water.
Alcoholic, just a little bit of water. That's it. You know, it's bubbles.
Mm.
It's just bubbles. Oh. It's great crack.
You wouldn't even realise it's 5%.
No, that's what I'm saying. Have it with your Frosties. Shane, what are you making of this one? What are you making of this release?
After both of you saying rhubarb and clove rocks, it's all I'm getting off it.
Oh,
You're right.
well,
It's
I think
like I've let it sit in the mouth for a bit just to get them oils around, and I think I'm getting a tiny bit of chocolate just at the very end as it goes down.
Like dark chocolate. Do you know what's a great one in there, Shane? On the nose, and probably just me, but we've got this hedgerow at home. It's an Killowen hedgerow. Sometimes you have to go in under and rip the ivy out. It's just like, gardening, that hedgerow ivy sort of note
That
in the nose.
fresh vegetal.
Yeah. Or cutting, if in the countryside and have to cut the hedges in September, as soon as you're allowed to. First week of September, start cutting the hedges, you get that lovely smell, fresh vegetal note,
Like I've had the tequila and the peated cask, and I thought the tequila was my favorite, but the virgin Hungarian oak, it's so warm and welcoming in the mouth.
Yeah,
you're spot on, Shane.
Yeah, lovely alcohol one. Yeah.
No, good. Shane, you part of the cult? You loving the cult?
I'm a cultist, true and true. I went a long way to get these seltzers because they're impossible to get down here.
No way.
They're impossible to get in the south, are they?
Celtic whiskey and Irish malt's the only place that'll do them. No place locally sells them yet.
And then there's carry out in Killarney. Might have them as well.
Well, here.
Bit far to drive.
You're going into enemy territory there.
Yeah.
The carry.
Shane, listen, thank you for popping on. Sport.
Thank you for having me.
Nah, listen, our pleasure, genuinely. We're got a couple of other people we want to bring in, but listen, Shane, you take care of yourself. All right, we'll get speaking soon.
Lads.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it's just great having people just coming into this, just coming in with the again, first time tasting it, which is very important. We're going to bring on Gillian. I know she's sitting there, probably daunted at the fact of coming in here, but I don't think Gillian's had Killowen before. Maybe I'm wrong. She'll maybe tell us otherwise, but this will be interesting. So let's bring Gillian into the stream. Hello, Gillian.
Hiya, how are you?
Good.
Gillian,
thank you.
Good. Yeah, no, never had Killowen before. In fact, very little Irish whiskey before being from Scotland. I'm more Scottish single malt, Scottish blends. So this is interesting. For me, it's lovely. The first ones, as you were saying, quite spicy at the start, and then when the alcohol starts to burn off, I am kind of getting boiled sweets and more of the vanilla kind of caramelly tones coming through now. But the finish is beautiful and it's so warm and it's lovely, really nice. So yeah, you might have a convert here.
Good stuff, Gillian. You're into the Irish now.
That's what we want to hear.
We splash water as well, and I get flowers out of it too. Honeysuckle and stuff. It's just going to try it now with a bit of water. What do you normally drink, Gillian?
I was going to ask that.
I know, I read.
Stole my show.
Kind of at the moment, I'm heading towards smoky kind of Islays, Kildare, Lagavulin. I kind of started, you couldn't move me from Speyside Sherry Cask, and now all of a sudden I'm starting to move to Lowlands, over to Islay, to the Outer Hebrides. Yeah. So yeah, starting to develop, but Irish is new, totally new to me. So yeah, this is a great experience. So thank you very much. But yeah, I would definitely check it out. In terms of Irish, I did the Whistler tasting, which was nice. Bushmills, and Glendalough, kind of bits and pieces, but nothing that I've kind of been able to hang my hat on quite yet. So yeah, this is interesting. Yeah.
Good. Well, here I'm glad you had the chance to try it and come on here, have a bit of banter. Sure, why not? And we shall be seeing you later on for a tasting. But listen, just one thing. I'm trying to get this in terms of being a Scots lady. Yes, Irish whiskey's not talked about in Scotland, am I right?
No, not really. No, and even, I married an Irishman called Paddy, for goodness sake, and he still loves Scotch. Well, he did marry me, so yeah, he loves Scotch. But he even still would. I don't think he's up to date with what's really going on in Irish whiskey, because in his head it's kind of, well, Irish whiskey is like a good Scotch, and I'm like, but that's not the way it is, and so I'm kind of pushing him into that now through me learning, which is quite good. So yeah,
get him on later on, and we'll give him a good rant about pot still Irish whiskey and the future of pot still, and it's about to change very soon.
Yeah. I actually bought Sexton recently. It was on offer in Tesco's, and it was a lovely whiskey. Just something when you're looking for something that's not too complicated, just to sip, kind of on a Sunday night, as opposed to really going for it with a tasting or something. And great in cocktails and coffee. Fantastic price, really good price. Yeah. So far, I'm impressed. Thank you very much for allowing me to join in.
Super. Listen, thank you very much, Jenny.
Cheers. Thank you.
No
Thanks,
bar.
Paul. Cheers.
So,
yeah, that was great crack.
It's good to hear. Paul, you've muted yourself, by the way.
No, I noticed. I was trying to bring someone else in, and I've got my pen, and look, I'm penning it, and we're just bringing people in. I'm wondering, should we bring in? Oh, come on! I think Kit Charles is begging to come on, begging.
It is. If you get that auto on, someone curses that it can stop.
Begging.
There's no swearing. There's no swearing in the live streams. There's no cursing. There's no messing about here, son.
My name's not fucking Brendan Carthy.
Huh? Get him off. Get him off.
Sorry. I'm on live. Oh, you're in the show.
Yes,
yeah.
You're on live.
Fact. It's all over. What are we? Have we finished bottle 2? What are we moving on to?
Wise up. We're on bottle 2 just now.
What time do I have to take the bit? Bottle 2's gone, and that's for Marieka there. Do you see the nice wee bottle or the wee? Lovely.
There's a wee drag there.
What did you think of it?
Lovely.
Kit?
Lovely. A bit of a burn at the start, but it's a very nice drop. I put water in the last one there. A very nice drop.
It's nice with water. It definitely is. It opens it up. Some more floral notes.
Yeah.
Brilliant. No, listen, in fact, look, it was there to be drunk. Don't be thinking you had to keep it. It was there to be drunk. I don't think anyone's going to, be disappointed you've been drinking it. That's a sign of a good whiskey. The fact you wanted to finish it. So, which is great.
It's going on sale now in 15 minutes. So,
you ready to buy it? 15 minutes.
The deal is tonight. We're watching on the big screen. We can't get you on live on the iPad, but we're doing it on your link on the iPhone. So we have all the technology. The bugger about it is at 7 o'clock. I've no device to go to Irish Malts and buy the bloody whiskey.
Irish Malts, Celtic whiskey, Irish Malts and Celtic whiskey. Yep, 2 places.
Yeah, and then all good local off licenses. And the whiskey exchange haven't rolled out yet.
Give the guys at Anzac a run too. They're good.
Yeah, right, they're doing distribution in the north, aren't they, Anzac, for yourselves, Brendan? Am I right?
Yeah, and every other whiskey company in the country now as well.
In a sense, yeah. I have to say a couple of wee things here before I'm banned off the stage. Brendan, did you like that thing last night with Peter Mulryan? Was that
good old crack? Yeah.
Are you a protege? I'm wondering, are you his protege because you sing from the same hymn sheet as far as the technical?
We all do. We're all just the voices crying in the wilderness. You can call me Elijah if you want. I don't mind, Kit.
There you go.
Elijah.
We're changing the doctrine of Irish whiskey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's another story, though.
I had to bring it up. I really enjoyed the show last night. I see Billy Lighton and lots of guys were watching it. So you're reaching out to a lot of people.
Yeah, it needs changed, and we're all part of the same crew. So the guys will come round if they haven't already.
Yeah. And
so
we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing, even with Finnan O'Connor's, these vintage mash bills. People are going to see that things can taste different, and probably for the better that they taste different, and there's diversity in the whiskey industry. But diversity is key to this. Diversity is going to be a big driver of how we, as the industry progresses, but how distilleries progress and how we as a consumer have that choice diverse choice. We want to taste things that are slightly different. You know what I mean? We want to have that.
Because the whiskey industry, Irish whiskey industry, deserves integrity. It deserves its own history to be recognised. You can't say that something that's more pot still than it is today isn't actually pot still, and then something of today, which is actually more alien, is called pot still. So that's what we're, it is still pot still, but for God's sake, that's all it is. It's simple. It's a no-brainer. So we owe it to the history to do it right.
We do. We owe it. Do you know what? You've heard me say this before, Brendan. And I'm one of these. And I was talking to someone today, one of our club members. I was saying, look, I really should keep on saying this. I'm one of these guys I'm an anti keep the bottle closed person. Open the bottles, get them opened. But one of the things I've always said about why we do that, why we open a bottle of whiskey, and particularly we open an older bottle, is because the person who came up with the mash bill, the person who distilled it, the person who was part of that processing, who got there's people who, going back 100 odd years, were part of a process to give us something to drink and experience and to taste, not to sit on one shelf and potentially grow some sort of fund for your children. No, crack it open, drink the liquid, because actually what we're doing then is paying homage to the people who cared enough to put it in the bottle, and that's what we're all about. I mean, I am, and people.
But there's room for everybody. There's room for everybody.
Oh,
there's room for collectors.
There's no room for anyone.
Other
people who want to drink whiskey.
You can't blame the guys that collect. You can't blame the guys that drink.
No,
there's room for everybody.
You definitely can't. Listen, people who want to collect, that's great. Look, I'm a collector. I also drink most of it. No, I mean, I'm an avid drinker, but I like to collect 'cause I like pretty things.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Mick was keeping me going. That's Maguire was keeping me going. I posted last night. I was buying 7 bottles of this last blended experimental. 2 would be enough. 1 to drink, 1 to keep.
That's better. Listen,
good man, Kit. We need more kits.
We shall catch you later on. Okay.
Thanks a lot. Good luck, guys.
Cheers.
Good man, Kit.
Listen, what about Val? Are we getting Val on here?
Yeah. Good man, Val.
There's
Good
Val.
to see the outreach.
We're going to have a sensible conversation with someone with real sense and real integrity right now. Is that what it is?
Val's doing a lot of good work for Irish whiskey abroad as well.
Let's bring him in. Let's bring him in.
And quality journalist too.
Hello, Val.
How are you,
Val,
lads?
how are you?
Thank you very much for the sample. Appreciate it.
You're most welcome. Good man, Val.
Not a problem. Val, have you gone through the series? Have you tasted them all? You've managed to taste them all so far?
Val managed to taste them from the casks. He came to us right at the very start when nobody even wanted to know who Killowen was. He was up in the distillery, floating around.
Yeah, I did. I watching what Brendan does with the whiskey, with the community, what he built. So it's really nice whiskeys. And what I'm admiring is how Brendan built the friendship with us. I think for such a small distillery, it's very important to build this link, bridge, whatever, with the consumers. So it's fantastic. I mean,
Thanks very much.
No, here I would echo that. I totally agree. Well, totally. It's been great the way for I suppose being local here, based up in Northern Ireland, that I have something which is super local and super. I just feel that there's already a relationship there, and for some reason, the Killowen brand, the Killowen experience, the Killowen, the whiskey, everything is getting out around the world, and it's no longer is it just it's this close little distillery, but you really, fingers crossed, you really just want to do really well. All of a sudden, lots of people and lots of different circles are saying, okay, I'm interested. You've got my attention right now, and this series has captured people's attention. Am I right, Val? It's captured people's imagination and what can be done, particularly for blends.
Mm-hmm. I think that's right.
I love Killowen, and this particular whiskey. I think the virgin oak is shining through the nose and taste. It's fantastic. It's spicy. It's lovely whiskey. My favorite of all series was rum, but I think that's equally as nice as rum cask. I mean, all casks are different, and it was nice journey to see how pretty much the same spirit it tastes differently in different casks. It's a nice journey. Like, absolutely enjoyed all those releases, and the last one, I think, just bang, very nice. Well
Good.
done.
Cheers, Val. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Val. Very patient tonight as well. Sitting there and
Cheers.
being very patient. Val, just
It's interesting.
Oh.
You go.
Val, I'm just looking behind your in your shelf there. I see some lovely bottles, and question for you: what do you make of? And I suppose this is an aesthetic thing. The bottle that's being used here by Killowen, yeah, it wasn't our traditional kind of bottling that we're used to, was it? It's not that tall, bottle. We've gone for something hip flasky. What do you make of that, Val? I want people's opinions on this, because I'm thinking to myself, this to me stands out from the crowd. The fact that we've got the wee Hessian bag gives it this little, it's so unique. Is that, have you known, is that something that makes it stand out as well? Is it not just, it's not just the whiskey, there's a whole brand concept, there's a whole, message coming from these guys.
Yeah, what I love the wax that looks really nice. But what I love mostly is the information on the bottle. As I try to convince people in Russia that Irish whiskey is good, and but Russians they love the information. The first thing when you do tasting with Russians, they will be asking how it's made, what casks used. If it's non-age statement, they will be asking what aged, how long the spirit spent in the barrels. And like Brendan, you can read all the information on the label, and you don't have to message Brendan and asking those questions. Brendan, what you used for this? It's all on the label. Yeah, and I love it.
Good. I'm really glad you mentioned that.
Oh.
Yeah.
You are championing Irish whiskey in Russia right now, and Russia's a massive market for Irish whiskey. So I think the whole industry isn't in debt to yourself. Very like Marika in Germany, for instance. What you're doing over there in Eastern Europe is fantastic, and I think you're sowing the seeds of a sustainable future for Irish whiskey. I always say that Board BA should be paying the likes of yourselves for this sort of thing. They really should be, They should be funding.
Yeah, I wish you all the best. I hope you will be, your future whiskey will be on the Russian market, because I know lots of people really admire what you do. Darren Killowen.
Thanks a million, Val. Thank you very much.
Great. That's great to hear. Val, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Enjoy your
Cheers, lads.
Thank you. We did have someone. I mean, I don't know where they've popped off to. I don't know. Where's John McDougall? Where is he? He's meant to be in here. But I just
and there's Daniel Pennington as well, isn't there?
Did he change? Did someone change their someone changed their stage name there? Bring back smoking in pubs. I noticed was an interesting stage name. Not sure.
Kit Charles.
Well, it wasn't Kit. No, it was someone else. Someone else. What about Ben? Have we got Ben? I mean, I know he's there. I'm just wondering whether I can click him in.
He said he can't. He's on a Zoom call at the same time. But Daniel Pennington's there as well.
Can you see? Where's Daniel? I can't see him on the list.
Oh, he was chatting there earlier.
Yeah, but, if he clicks in, then he can click in. I just want to say a couple of things just now while we get John to pop in. and maybe Ben if he wants to come on, and Daniel. Oh, I jumped off to make space for John. We'll get in, Daniel. There's plenty of room for you guys to come in here just now. Get back in. But one thing that struck me, 2019, you guys got yourselves involved in the Belfast Whisky Week, the festival in Belfast, and you didn't have the bonded stuff at this point. This was pre-bonded thoughts, maybe even. It was like still at the kind of raw stage. This is what we're making. This is our new make stuff. You got a bit of you got a really good reception. From that festival. Lots of people coming in and tasting your new make, and that really, to me, I'll be honest, that's my turning point. Like seeing what was going on there, that was a real being able to taste those new make spirits, and we've now moved on a little bit. How many casks are laid down just now that are not private, that are laid down just now, and when would we be expecting for Killowen to start to come onto the market, just to give people an idea? Because I've seen it from start. But
we might have about 50 casks. I'd say probably about 50 of our own, which is probably nothing compared to other distilleries. It's a week's work in some other distilleries. But that was a lot of hard slog. So we're taking a little break from distilling now for the next couple of months to just get everything else in order, house in order, and move things about. And if you think about it, what we're also going to be doing is releasing potching. Some people might think that trying to premiumize and make really quality blends is a difficult move. Imagine premiumizing potching. So we were talking about the quality, and for us, it's a move of confidence now. It's us trying to say, look what we can do with our spirit, and not just that. Potching doesn't have to be, something that you buy when you leave mass on a Saturday night in the '60s. Potch or something you get off a dodgy bollocks up a hill. Potching is something that can be good, and it's something that's been ignored from big companies. And we've got don't start in the technical file. The technical file of potching was purposely written by idiots. It's been written in a terrible way. So what we're going to do is, within the parameters of potching making, with a little bit of protest bending the rules, we're going to release a 10-week-old spirit, a series of 10-week-old spirits that are going to be very interesting. And so that's the next move for Killowen. So, and so they're going to be done in good political culture,
You kind of went with that politician's answer to my question. I like that. I'm glad we're going to talk about this now second series of releases from Killowen, and it's all about the potching. It's all about potching. It's all about 10-week spirit. Up the potching, indeed, Shane, up the potching, because actually it's going to be very interesting to see potching on the market in such a diverse way, because at the moment, quite rightly so, people have a really strange thought process in their head, but potching is something which comes from the wee man up the hill, or it's something that your dad's mate will hand over to you, in the pub, and you'll have a wee drink of it, and then it goes back in its brown paper bag. And all the releases so far, have they been up to the kind of expectations of people's kind of fantasy of potching and what it could be? We've got a big champion of potching down in Dublin. David's banging on the door of people.
Potching. Seriously. Yeah, 1661. Yeah, has been champion in potching for a long time. Good on Dave.
Seriously. Take it seriously is what he's been saying. So now you are, as it's silly, taking it seriously and creating a range of potching. It's not the one potching. It's going to be variants of the potching, which I think is really going to be very interesting. But come back to the question. 50 casks. And when do we see that coming to to people's shelves? When do we see that? What's the?
I'd say a year and a couple of months. And we'll be putting it out there. We're confident enough that we're going to stick it out 3 years straight away. We're happy with it. We make whiskey in a very expensive way. We're a small distillery, but the overheads are massive because of the way we do things. Things are done by hand from start to finish. But we're also, whenever I was working in other distilleries, it seemed like a still would nearly run for like 68 hours. 6 to 8 hours, not 68. So our stills run for 12-hour shifts. You imagine spirit sitting in the still for 12 hours, and this is flame fed. So you're already increasing complexity. The length of time that's in there interacting with your copper, you know, the sulfates are dying out. And then by the time that gets through your condenser, which is a worm tub condenser, you know, you're getting a full-bodied, oily spirit, and then we're putting them into these lovely casks. And yeah, it's just, I think it's going to be good whiskey when it comes out. In fact, I've tasted 2-year-old spirit that we've been producing, and it's definitely, it's coming across like 10-year-old, quality 10-year-old. So it's something that we're happy with, and it's something that it was something we're very anxious about at the start. This was a bloody gamble based on trial and error and research and visiting other distilleries. But a large part of it is to do with mash bills. It isn't just by chance or that a lot of these mash bills followed that, 30% other rule, where it was like, 15% was between oats, rye, and wheat. So 7.5% say it was oats and 7.5% was rye. Or I'm a little bit tipsy now, but anyway, whenever you use basic ratios, it makes so with this potching range, we've actually stepped up the oat content slightly, and it's not just as good as what we're laying down as whiskey, which is interesting. So whenever you keep it in within those parameters, it's far more interesting.
No, listen. That to me it's it's the whole experience of Killowen. It's what we're getting here. We're getting this opportunity to see what the distillery can do. The fact is, people really need to get this in their head. Distillery is so small. The production run in the last year and a half is accumulating 50 casks. It's nothing. It's a small amount. It's so small that actually what we're going to get at the end of it is a very expensive process, a very expensive whiskey that's being produced. And in doing so, the amount of effort, the time, the work that's gone into to making each one of these casks, very, 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 very important that people understand it, that they understand the sense of scale. So to put this in a context, what you've done over the last year and a half of 50 casks will be produced in some distilleries in the space of what? Days, minutes, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? It's so small. It's so small, and I really appreciate it. I'm loving this, and I'm very excited about a second series. The end of this series is important, and it's important that we have an end to it. This, no doubt, if you have more liquid, you could have gone forever and a day, but it's good to have an end process. We're going to bring back smoking.
Put this on your CV now.
Pubs. Bring back smoking in pubs. Let's bring it back. And what? Why bring back?
We thought you were just somebody else.
I was an ex-smoker. I'm just looking at Kiss smoking and going, "Fuck, I'd love one of them."
How fun!
It's 7 o'clock, not 9 o'clock.
It doesn't matter. It can be 4 in the morning.
He was sitting smoking there. Like, there was nothing. There was no issues. There's no coronavirus going on. There's nothing. Yeah, boys. You know what I mean? In there, like, swimwear, smoking away. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm actually relegated.
What is that glass you have there?
It's
dead on.
Terroir.
Where's your Killowen glass?
And look at the big look at Era in the middle. How classy is that?
Where? Oh, where upon you?
There's the angry little ship behind me. I'm relegated to the daughter's bedroom. I'm in the daughter's bedroom. She has ballet, and we have teacher-parent meetings at the moment. And I'm dragging all these I'm dragging all the bottles down out of the press behind Sarah.
Her room's the bottle storeroom, is it?
Oh, they're everywhere. I'm in trouble.
What you making of the full series? What do you make of it? I mean, what's your thoughts of the full series?
To be honest, at the start, I was a bit worried. I thought they'd all be very similar because the makeup's exactly the same. But no, they've been really, really different. It's like a testament to Brendan and the team, like how well they've done with them.
Good.
Good. Like I think they've progressively got better.
Well, yeah, I would. No, that's interesting because my taste profile would take me back.
Well, I'm drinking the rum. The rum is my favorite.
Back to the rum, yeah. But
yeah, the rum's my favorite.
This one here, though, is
You were confectionery.
Sweets. There's a man after your own heart here. Paul,
Yeah, that's when I don't smoke. I'm eating sweets.
I'm all about.
Man,
This is serious.
you man love your sweets.
You have to do it on camera. You can't pretend you don't eat these things.
Boys.
I love that virgin oak, by the way. Really nice.
Good
Oh,
man.
wow.
Any notes out of that, Ian?
Well, I was getting the clove, and I actually thought I got a bit of peanut at the end, and peppermint.
The peppermint,
But I didn't put water in. Like, if I was sent a bigger sample, I would have put water in some of it.
Send you a bigger sample.
Yeah, send bigger samples. Like I'm 6'3" for fuck's sake, and my belly's growing. I shouldn't have to dig into my own whiskey for this.
Hold on.
I love everything about. I love everything about Brendan. I love everything about Killowen. I love the whole lot. I'm sold.
Good.
I'd have Brendan's babies if I could.
Ian, did you manage to get a bottle online? I've just noticed it's past 7 now, so I wanted to make sure you got.
No, didn't you say you'd send me down a full bottle?
Yeah.
No, do you know what, John? I'm gonna put a plug here. John Fleming in Carry out in Killarney said he'd look after me for a bottle. So if anyone's looking for one, John has about 50 of them in his back room. So knock in.
Good stuff.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, I love it.
You're number 001 in the clone cult, am I right?
I'm the head man, yeah. You gave it to me, Paul. You told me. You said, remember that conversation? You said, I'm deadly, but I think you're better. Remember you said that to me?
Yeah. Hold on. I hold my hands up. I'm just the organ grinder.
No, you're doing great job.
The whiskey head of Dublin meets the whiskey head of Belfast.
Yeah. It's just he has a bit more on top than I do.
I have loads of hair. I love it. I absolutely love it. My problem is that when you have this much hair, you need to maintain it, and there's no freaking way I can get to hair.
No. Do you know what? When you get to a certain age, you let it go wild because it really pisses the bald people off. You let the calves licks come out and everything, like it just destroys a man's soul. It does when he sees a man with loads of hair.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right, Paul.
Just keeps going. It's all over.
I've only got 3 nipples down there, so it's all right. No point in me pulling it down.
Listen, tell us that. Look, you do a lot. You do a lot for the industry. Okay, so and whiskey entirely. So you have that. You have the connections with the Scottish whiskey and the Irish whiskey. And listen. You obviously, a question I want to give, for us guys out here. Do you see with all these new distilleries? Do you see new kind of people to come on board, like younger, different kind of demographics? Are we looking at, because we have such a diverse, I suppose, potential? Do you know what I mean? At the moment, it's potential. Do you see lots more people, particularly in Ireland, drinking Irish whiskey? Because at the moment, I still find that it's still a smaller group of people, and actually the people drinking Irish whiskey are in the States, or they're in Russia, or they're in Germany, or they're in France, or and really we just aren't getting the local people to understand that whiskey is happening here. It is happening.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think you see a lot of people coming in the investment level, drinking level. I think. Not so much. But having said that, a lot of people start off collecting whiskey and end up drinking whiskey and end up drinking their collection. I've seen that with people who drink Scotch over the years. It'll happen with people who collect Irish whiskey. They'll end up opening up bottles because they're curious. They'll come in drunk one night or something. And they'll have probably 2 of something and they'll open it up and they'll go, I like that one. But I don't think Irish palates are used to whiskey at the moment. I just don't see it. I think they like their mix, a little kind of mixer in with them.
Yeah,
that's why cocktails are such a big thing.
They are. They are, and that's what I mean. That's just sometimes just like I'm seeing a lot of it with the people that are in communication with me and who are talking to me and are really enthused about Irish whiskey. They're not Irish. You know, there are people who are, you know, from different countries who are like, listen here, do you know what you've got there? You've got freaking great product. You've got great.
There's one there.
Whiskey.
You just had Val Voigt on. Val Voigt, like, unbelievable. It's where he was Irish until you talked to him and read his name. You know, like, he's so big into Irish whiskey. Like, he's a brilliant advocate for it. But if we can get a lot more people involved, probably take 10, 12 years before we're there. I remember even like in the 90s, the 2000s, going to Scotland, and you'd be ordering a dram at the bar, you know, and it wasn't an irregular thing. Whereas if you have a chaser over here years ago, it'd be an old man sitting at the bar with his pint and his chaser.
Yeah.
Like, it's still, unless you go to a whiskey bar, you won't see that in many pubs.
No.
You'll get there, though.
100%. Hopefully, and I think we're lucky in some respects.
I think there'll be enough people for Brendan to. I think there'll be enough people for Brendan to sell his 2.5 casks a week, though. So I think
that's the main thing, isn't it?
That's all you have to worry about. Never mind everyone else.
I think it is
that's when we
interesting
are
to see
producing.
that. We've got all these distilleries that we have, all these new ones coming through. They are going to take time before they release their product. So we have time, I think, to build people, you know, to get to that point that we get more drinkers involved locally. Because look,
but even at that point, Paul, like, look what you've done up the north in Belfast and kind of surrounding counties. Belfast wasn't on the scene years ago. Like, North wasn't on the scene for Irish whiskey. Bushmills did nothing with their stock. You know, like, there wasn't a vibe up there. Now there's a massive vibe up there. All the shouting comes from the north.
I'll take full credit for the fact that Bushmills have released a massive collection. I'll take full credit for that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You should.
Look, listen, I think the guys in our club, who literally, you know, continuously talking to the representatives, continuously nail it on the head, which is Bushmills is brilliant. It is absolutely great. Yeah. So give us what we need, which is lots of cask strength whiskey, lots of diverse casks, lots of beautiful, you know, finishing.
And do you know what the problem is, though, with that Causeway series, though, Paul? Who's opening the fucking things? They're all closed.
Oh, you know what? Do you know what's just so funny, right? I mean,
you're different. I'm talking about. You look everywhere. I can't see anyone opening them. There's nobody opening the bloody things.
I'm gonna give the guy a call out. I'm gonna give him a shout out right now. Right, there's a guy in our club, a guy called Niall, lovely fella, Niall Smith. He's our IT guy. He helps us do our IT stuff. Right, lovely fella. His fiance, who's fantastic, bought him at Christmas time a Bushmills bottle from the UK release. The 168 bottles that went out there for the UK release.
Or whatever.
Bought him it, and made him open it. Made him open it. Yeah, made him open it. So I says to Niall today, I says, Niall, do you realise what the going rate for that bottle is in the auctions at the moment? And he went, no, I don't.
See, that's the problem.
No, I know
that's the problem.
Exactly.
It is. That's the problem. Straight away when someone sees an open bottle, do you know how much that is? Like, why is it even relevant? Like, that's whiskey now, but that's
exactly.
It is what it is.
Exactly. I said to him, I says, listen, I said it went $1,500 the other day in a Scottish whiskey site, and I says the fact that you've opened it says it all. Like, they should be opened. And I says, you know, we should not be talking about buying. And I've said it earlier. We should be buying to drink, realizing the taste of it. Do you know what I mean? And look, people could collect all day long. I'm not going to slag that off, but get them open. And listen, the Bushmills Causeway collection has to be drunk. There's not a bad one yet. You know what I mean? And they've all been good. Everyone I've tasted has been good.
Nobody minds collectors. Nobody minds the drinkers, but it's the flippers that gets everybody. Like the flippers, who's the flippers? You know.
Well,
flippers are great.
If you're swimming down the Liffey.
Absolutely brilliant.
And up the lottos.
Oh my God! Don't. It's just don't. No, listen. It's honestly, I think. Look, we've got big things happening. I think in Ireland with all these distilleries, big things happening.
Yeah,
I agree.
The mash bill's a massive one. This mash bill that's going to go on is massive. Like, how can you call a pot still from years ago? Like, I've had this conversation with you, Brendan. How can you call it Irish whiskey? Like, Irish whiskey is a blend. Irish whiskey can be anything. Like,
That's why we set up Killowen, was to make that whiskey. There just wasn't accessible. We
That's
can't
you.
afford the £5 a bottle to drink it, so we're going to make it. You know what I mean? And that's what Irish whiskey is. It's just we're not getting into anything less than that. Still can't
Hold
be
on,
amazing,
hold on.
and it is bloody
Brendan,
amazing.
so you're going to make you're making 5 gram whiskey. Is that what you're saying, Brendan?
We're
Did I
making
get you
what?
right there? You said you can't afford to open 5 gram whiskey, but you're making it. So you're making 5 gram whiskey.
I'm making 10 gram whiskey.
That's what I would have thought.
No, look, we've got a big, that's very important. I think there's definitely a realization that we're moving in the right direction. And look, I think if we can get more people in Ireland drinking Irish whiskey, it's going to definitely help locally. I just think, I want to see that. I want to see
Get Americans back in love with whiskey again.
Yes, very much so. Listen, John, thank you very much. You're
thanks, lads.
Absolute pleasure to
Good
have
man,
you
John.
on. I'm sure we'll get
Good
speaking
man,
to you again soon.
Love you, Brendan. Love you, Brendan.
Love you too, John.
Why is he getting all the love? What is this? Why is he got... Just because he has a distillery. Right, that's it.
No, it goes deeper. Goes deeper than that, Paul. Goes deeper.
He's got a cask, Paul.
What?
And do you know what? It's in the Hungarian. It's in the Hungarian cask. Or am I allowed to say that?
That's right. Yeah. Yourself and Ed's.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Delighted with it.
At least you could spell my name properly. Yeah. Paul.
He ran out of letters. He ran out of letters.
B-R-E-I-N-D-R.
And you forgot the Mac before Carty as well.
I took the soup, John.
Well, I better get off. I have another parent teacher meeting. Cheers, lads. Thanks a million for the sample. Good job, Paul. Good job.
Take care. Brendan, I didn't write your name, by the way. That's you.
Sorry. Well, maybe it was.
Think I write everyone's name? No, that's your name. Like Ben wrote Ben, and Whiskey Novice wrote Whiskey Novice, and
he wrote Bring Back Fegs to the pubs.
You wrote Brendan spelled B-R-E-N-D-N. That's bad.
Well, in fairness, I did land in here at what time was it?
Yeah, just on time. It's all good.
Send everybody else the link.
Listen, I've really enjoyed this. It's been a bit of crack, and I think we've done really well. I'll just pick up on Anthony's point here. He was saying people looking for investments as they're not making any money from savings banks. Probably, yeah. But that's it. Just I like what you said below. Want to drink, want to keep. Want to drink is very, very important because not drinking it is a shame. Will it go on sale again as it's sold out? Cliff, it's on sale in local off licenses. So it has not left the island. It's in Ireland. It's in the north. You can purchase it in off licenses. So yes, because it's gone off right now. Yeah. So I know for a fact you can Anzac did the distribution in the north. So there's going to be probably likes of the Vineyard or something in Belfast. Probably Anzac up in Ballycastle. Those kind of places which have really supported continuously.
DC Wines in Belfast.
DC Wines, yeah. And I don't know if Celtic Whisky might have some physical in their shop. I'm not sure, but I think they probably, because they put it out online, they might have sold their allocation. But listen, hopefully you get a bottle because it is something special, and it's really nice to finish off the series with a good. And I've always been saying this to Brendan. I've been saying this, and I hope that he doesn't hate me. But I've been saying, wait till you fuck up. Wait till you make a mistake. People will come down and clatter you. And the problem here is we've had 7 good whiskies. And I think that's an achievement in itself. The fact that we've had 7 without there being an uproar, without our people saying, not good, really not good. They've been good whiskies. And, yes, they're blends, but they're whiskies to me. And to me, they've been very, very good. I've really appreciated it. And I've enjoyed drinking it. I'm not going to... Yeah.
Right now I'm drinking a Potching that we're going to be releasing in a few weeks' time. In a while, not in a few weeks, and it's actually better. So Thankfully, we don't have to worry about it next time. We can worry about it the time after that. But the next time we're okay as well.
Oh, here, I'm liking that. Is Ben going to come in? Because that's the last one I really need to be chatting to.
I know he's unable to do it. Ben owns Single Cask in London.
Right.
He's a good
Brian
lad.
Green was in a minute ago, was he? And he's headed on.
Yeah.
Richard, it has to end at some point. Fair play, Richard. Look, it is a bit like losing a good friend. But look, seeing them all together, it's been, it's nice doing a side-by-side pairing. For those that have not had the opportunity, there will be an opportunity to do a side-by-side pairing during Paddy's week. So if people really are really missing out, there's going to be a Paddy's box for Belfast Whisky Week, Paddy's weekend. So the Paddy's Weekender, which is taking place, we've got 3 boxes of Irish whiskey, one of them which includes all of these Killowens in the one box, which will be very interesting. Hopefully people will get the chance to taste them all side by side. Yeah, good idea, eh, Brendan?
Well done.
What's even better is there's a wee sneaky one in there. You know what I mean?
Oh, the Belfast Whisky Week.
Oh wow, yeah. So you'll get to have that as well, and we'll probably be throwing in the first watching as well. So we'll be throwing in the first watch. So we've got the 7 bonded experimentals. Yeah, 7 bonded experimentals. We've got the Irish, the Belfast Whisky Week festival bottling, which will go into it, and we will also have the first potching released in there as well. So yeah, so like people will get the chance to taste this if they haven't had the chance already. Listen, Brendan, anything else you want to say? Is there something you want to chat about?
No, thanks very much, Belfast Whisky Week, Belfast Whisky Club, for doing us this fantastic honour to just let us get the word out and to talk to people at random. It's something we're going to do going forward. It's just people who appreciate Killowen, just interact with them as much as possible, because they are us. We're in a hum with them. So
yeah, and I think this is definitely, for me, we're probably still going to see lots of restrictions. It's definitely going to be a lot more of this kind of chit chat. So it is important to talk to just everybody and as many people as we can and bring them on and get that feedback. Look, I really appreciate it. I really want people, if they are really interested in the Killowen distillery and the brand and everything else going forward, then there's Connor. Connor, right? Do you know what? We have to bring him in just before we head away. Are you ready? Connor, back up here. I'm going to bring you in. Connor, in you come.
What's happening, Brendan? Keeping well.
Connor, how you doing?
Good. That's the first time I've had a Killowen whiskey.
Yes.
Tonight.
Good man, Connor.
What did you make of it?
Welcome in.
First impressions of what hit me was it was very hot straight away. So that usually would turn me off. Where it actually worked the other way when I was drinking more of it. I was wanting that heat. So in that way it was good in terms of the experience in the mouth. In the cheeks, it was licorice. Definitely licorice, dark licorice.
That's a good one.
And when Paul said rhubarb, I got gooseberry, sharp fruit. So there was a bit of sharpness to it. So it was excellent.
Connor,
you get those fruits that comes, I think, from the Cooley stock. The gooseberry. It's like white flesh that you would get in an apple as well. It's quite similar, except it's a little bit more bitter this time. So that's where I think it's coming from.
My grand used to be a farmer up near Downpatrick, and he would have had a fruit field, and that's the sort of experience. When I said gooseberry, I was going back to picking the berries at a certain time of year. It's a wee bit bitter.
Oh, very bitter. The gooseberries are
better. Yeah, that's good. It's different.
I have a feeling, and it's actually my intention, that this whiskey can be quite divisive. Some people will love it and some people won't. It might be far too much wood spice in there for some people. But that's what we want. That's what I want. I like whiskies that are going to create discourse and disagreement nearly. And as long as enough people like it, I'm happy enough, And
for people who are into whiskey, like I haven't drank whiskey properly for a couple of years now. People into whiskey will really like this because there's a lot going on, especially after. after about half a minute after, you can still get the flavors.
Yeah.
Connor, for
Yeah.
those that don't know who you are, obviously your name's on the screen, but you're famed around Belfast. People now, if they've visited Belfast, or as a tourist, or they've come up, or maybe seen you on the Instagram stuff now. Connor, tell people what you do, because the fact that you're on here tonight is a bit of crack. You know what I mean? But I think that you're presenting, which is really nice. In some sense, you're presenting a little bit of history for what whiskey was in Belfast, and I'm appreciating that, Connor.
Yeah. About 5 years ago, set up a tour company. I'm a tour guide now, but there is a focus towards the whiskey history of Belfast, especially around Dunvilles. So the history of Dunvilles was what I really got into when I was starting a tour guide. But even finding out about Jury's whiskey recently, and sort of the hidden bottles, and McConnell's coming back. There's a lot happening. It's exciting, and even with the guests coming from Russia, Germany, Canada, South Africa, all these strong whiskey-loving countries are coming here, and they're coming here for stories. And there's so much stories within the whiskey world, as we know. So keep her up, keep her lit.
Yes, Connor, good lad. So Belfast hidden tours, and for people
Belfast hidden tours, but we go to County Down as well. So might get in touch with Bretton soon.
You go to County Down. Half of Belfast is County Down. I think you sample them, but you seem to forget that.
Belfast is all cultures. At the end of the day, we all came in from the countryside, so
half of the city is in County Down.
You cross the river and it's County Down.
Oh, aye. Yeah, good point. Good point. Cross the river, that's where it's divided. Well done, Bretton.
And it's the far side in the city centre, not.
The long bridge takes you to County Down.
But even Belfast itself is Belfast, is mouth of the sandbank, so the name comes from the rivers. And we all know that whiskey, the water of life, so it's all connected.
Connor,
Connor.
Storyteller. We look forward to that. Connor,
these are live. Live from on top of the fridge.
What is that?
I'm on top of my fridge, is in the living room, getting the house done up at the moment.
Yes.
It's just the last guy was in his kid's bedroom, and I just thought, well, I'll go live from the top of the fridge.
Listen, you're just right. Listen, you're spoiling us, Connor.
Thanks, Connor.
We'll get speaking to you.
Pleasure.
Soon, right? We shall see you later. Okay, good man.
Thanks, yeah.
Take care. Slán.
Right. Connor, good crack. Listen, I'm glad
That's
we
good.
had him on there.
Good mix of people today.
Listen, here. I do implore people to go and have a look and find Belfast Hidden Tours, because some of the stuff, the wee gems, the wee nuggets of information is just absolutely cracking. Do you know what I mean? So, big fan of that. I've known Connor for a long time. We met well outside of the whiskey industry, well outside of that. And do you know what? The guy's a heart of gold, and he's built himself as someone who in Belfast now knows his stuff about what's going on, the history, the heritage. He talked about Jury's whiskey there, which I thought was really interesting.
That's right.
And what is that? People just don't. We don't talk about those brands. We don't talk about these really old whiskies that used to be, surrounding us here in Belfast. But if Belfast was the mecca of Irish whiskey, we need to be making a stand up here and bring it back. So that's what it's all about. Bring it back.
It was a powerhouse. It was a powerhouse. It was Dublin and Cork, and the Dublin and Cork still are powerhouses. Belfast isn't.
Exactly.
So we need to bring Belfast back.
Dublin and Cork have lots of liquid flowing. We need that happening here. Right, we need that happening here. So listen, Brendan, I've had some crack. Killowen is doing what it should be doing, which is making some good stuff. I genuinely cannot wait for the new series, the Potchin series. But I really am looking forward to keep on tasting those, new makes coming through. Really love the idea, and again, I want to keep saying this. And good people might not know it, Brendan, but the non-GIs, the GI compliance, like you are working hard to provide some really good insight into, what potch, for first of all, what this potching can be, but for what these pot stills can be and for what these malts can be. You're really making an effort, and I really appreciate that. I'm sure there's a lot of people who really appreciate that story, that kind of aspect of it.
That's all down the line, and it's going. That's the story. We're going to be pushing to the 4 very, very soon. Once again, yeah, it's good.
Man. Listen, thank you for the guests that came on. So Gillian, Jim, Ben, who didn't say anything, Shane, Mick, Dwyer, John, Connor, Val. Absolutely great to have people on.
Marika,
Marika. There we go. Great to have people on for the chat, and we'll certainly keep doing it. We'll keep having those conversations with people. All right. Good night, everyone, and hopefully you all got a bottle. All right. Speak to you soon.
I hope you got a bottle, Paul.
No. Oh, I know you. When you're doing this, you can't buy, can you?
Sorry.
The friend at hand better get some. That friend at hand shop better get some, and I better be able to go in and purchase some. Not me. So
no bother.
Do you know what? I need some for tastings, so it needs to be done. Listen, thank you very much.
Slán.